started our walk from Najaf al-Ashraf, from the shrine of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Amir al-Mu'mineen, and we are en route, inshallah, to Karbala al-Muqaddasa.
The time now is 10 past 4, Arab time, and we are now approaching pole number 400. So there is over 1,000 poles. There's over 1,000 poles to go through right now. And there's not much of the group right now, everyone's split up.
We are currently at pole 564. The brothers, as you will see later on, are very tired because they have covered, most of them covered 564 poles.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today is the second day. It's 6 in the morning. Everyone just woke up. We're just gonna pray and try to go to the mosque next door and have a breakfast and to continue up. Some of us are so tired. They are literally wanting to take a car, but alhamdulillah, everyone is motivating each other and saying Labbaik ya Hussein and try to continue to walk. Allah.
عمود 886 886 قناة إمام حسين. كل من وين يضيع نشافه هناك. بعد ما ننتظر أحد. 886 كل 2 3 سوية. بالقناة نوقف. قناة إمام حسين ومن هناك مثلا نحرك نشوف شو نسوي. صلى على محمد وعلى محمد.
اللهم صل على
الكربلاء يا اخوان متفضلين انتم، واذا ما قدرنا ننزل بالعتبه بمضية العتبه. عمود ألف. عمود ألف بالضبط.
He's a shower, Karbala.
نشوف شو نسوي هناك. بالقناة شباب نريد مساعدة.
86. روح انت وياي تعال. انا وياك. Let's go.
husband and wife, they're walking together.
Just follow to me, we'll get it together. Let's go. Yeah, Ali.
And you left me, Sayyid Ali. Your walking buddy.
We're gonna get Harissa, do you wanna come?
يلا later.
Let's go have breakfast. Let's have breakfast. My throat is gone and I'm dead.
الله يحفظكم بحق أمير المؤمنين، بحق الإمام زين العابدين. تفضل عيوني للريوق، تفضل أغاتيته، تفضل عزيزي، تفضل أبويا، تفضل زاهر، تاج راسي أنت، أبوس إيدك أني، أقبل أيديك أخايا، أغاتي عيوني، أخويا تفضل تريق، تاج راسي أنت، تاج راسي الزاير، تاج راسي والله، تفضل تريق مولاي، رحم الله والديك.
Harissa. How is it? Beautiful. You're supposed to make a poem about the Harissa.
Harissa.
الله يحفظكم بحق أمير المؤمنين، بحق الإمام زين العابدين. تفضل عيوني للريوق، تفضل أغاتيته، تفضل عزيزي.
Throughout the whole journey, there are mawaqib which have been set up by the servants of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. A mawqib is a group of lovers of the Ahlul Bayt who get together and set up their own stores and marquees. These servants will stand at their stores and beg the pilgrims to come in and have breakfast or whatever they are serving. Also at night, they would beg the pilgrims to come in and stay in their marquee or building. These mawqibs are usually named after a member of the Ahlul Bayt family. For example, the mawqib which we stayed at last night was called mawqib Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. The mawqib was named after Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, who is the 6th Imam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we woke up 6 a.m. in the morning, me and my brothers, to embark on our second stage of this journey towards Karbala to meet Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi afdal as-salatu was-salam, Imam Hussein and Abu al-Fadl Abbas. The reason why we walk this journey is in order to feel just a drop of pain in the sea of pain of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. What she witnessed on this day, has not been witnessed in the history of mankind. Therefore, despite the injuries and the wounds and the pain that we experience, we tend to adopt a resilient nature within us, which is sparked throughout this journey, and it's the goal that drives us towards Sayyidina Zainab alayhi salam. And the service is outstanding in Karbala, in Najaf. Hussein's love has encompassed the whole world. It has forced many individuals from Europe, from the Middle East, to come and visit him on this day, this blessed day. And inshallah, may everyone experience this beautiful experience through this journey towards Karbala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our du'as and a'mals, as Shia Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. And this also ensures that we have remained steadfast on the path of Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam. This walk confirms our loyalty to Imam Hussein and Sayyidina Zainab alayhi salam. And inshallah, ya Rab, may the numbers increase year by year. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Nearly 8 a.m. We're at pole 6:25, and we've got 1,400 poles in total to the shrine. The group has been split up into different parts. Some behind me, some in front of me, some way in front. And this flag is the only thing keeping me alive right now.
Still going.
1 point, you know 1 point, right?
1 point.
Ashura is a school of lessons. Hussein taught me defiance. Abbas taught me selflessness. Zainab taught me patience. Qasim taught me sacrifice. Isbat a lover's preference. Layla gave Ali al-Akbar Muhammad's last resemblance. Between the hands of Hussein, Hor taught me repentance. Abis taught me insanity is but a lover's science. Ashura was not a day. Ashura was not a day. Its timelessness, its brilliance, it remains in the heart. Always a lover's.
Shukran.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're currently on pole 675, and we just went through the first checkpoint, and if you can look at this way, you can see millions of people are coming through, and obviously the security have to check quickly, otherwise we'll be let clear back down. And we're going to go straight to the last checkpoint before we enter Karbala, inshallah.
هلا بالشباب مرتاحين الله يخليك فارغ الشاي هاجي لو بياس نور عفو you're going fast as well
هذا شارع يودي كل حسين
هلا بالسيد أنا شاي وين
يلا بعد الكاميرا طفيها تعال اشرب شاي
يلا شكرا يلا باي باي This year, to our benefit, we were joined by some inspirational people. With these were Brother Sayyid Ali Radawi and Sayyid Haydar Jizani. Upcoming Noha recited which enriched the journey with their poetry for the love of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. And we were also privileged enough to have the poet Nouri Sardar and Sayyid Ali al-Nawab to talk us through the tragedies of the Ahlul Bayt and inspire us with their knowledge.
I was raised in a house of giving and service. My visitors should feel at home, I know this. I was raised in a house of giving and service. My visitors should feel at home, I know this. I smile when I see my grave receives a kiss. And I'll make sure that when he leaves Hussein he'll miss. If visited, it's my duty. I've awaited those who know me.
عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بنصاب سيدي ومولاي Abdillah AlHussain. This is our second day walking from Najaf to Karbala. I am walking holding the flag that I have made from London, which I took round to all the majalis during Muharram for all Shia Amir al-Mu'mineen to write their hajat, to write their prayers, all the people that cannot make it to Karbala this year. I have made this so that I can write all their prayers. They can write anything they desire, anything they want from Imam Hussein. So that when I take it to him to Karbala, I can put it inside the dharih, and inshallah their prayers shall be answered. And inshallah I will get thawab for this and for the steps that I'm taking towards Karbala. The reason that we are walking this way towards Karbala is to feel a glimpse of what the family of Imam Hussein felt during Karbala and the aftermath of Karbala. Inshallah all our du'as are accepted, and inshallah the ziyarah is accepted. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are going to be stopping at hole 800, and the Shabab are waiting for us, so we can have a short break until we make our way to hole 886.
هلا بالشباب الله يساعدهم.
Nuri's got the fattest bowl on his flag.
الله يساعدهم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We are at pole 886 in Mokib Imam Hussein television, and we're here for a little nap, and we're gonna be praying, then have some food and take a little nap before we head off to Karbala again.
Hamstring as well? Just this.
We just at Imam Hussein TV, the Mokib Monitor, and we're heading off to pole 1000 to gather everyone up and then make it to a pole 1100 where the Atab Imam al-Abbas is, and then from there we will see if we have enough energy to make it to Karbala tonight. If not, then inshallah tomorrow morning we'll be there. We'll be heading off to Karbala.
عطشانا شد محرم توب در همه ارباب دیوانه 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 شبیه مستانه 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 شبیه یا اهل العالم یا اهل العالم قتل الحسين في كربلاء عطشانا 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 ايام 40 ايام 40 دفن راس الشريف ويدموعي 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 تصيح ويدموعي 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 تصيح يا أهل العالم يا أهل العالم قتل الحسين بكربلاء
علي أراه
This is the second checkpoint and hopefully the last of the big checkpoints. We're just arriving to Karbala, and as you can see, it's going to get ram-packed because this year especially, so many people has come this year. Last year I remember they had only one lane for Zuwar to walk on. This year they've had three lines, three different roads for the Zuwar to walk on. So it's going to be very packed, so we need to get there and try and get to the front of the queue as soon as we can in order to pass the checkpoint, inshallah.
Due to the threats that the Shia and Iraq face every day from the terrorists, the Iraqi forces set up many temporary checkpoints between Najaf and Karbala. There are two main checkpoints where everybody has to pass through. The first one is at post 600, which is the halfway point between Karbala and Najaf. And the second one is at the border of the holy city of Karbala.
تفضل يا زاير خش برياني جاز ولاد ودين الحار هلا
لا شكرا. Staying here with Haidar. We've lost most of our group. No phone, nothing. We're around 1066. We're in the HOTBIRD, but we can't find our group, so we're planning, if we're lucky, we're going to find them in the HOTBIRD Abbaasiyya. If we're lucky, hopefully.
حلقك يا زاير حلقهم هذا يا زاير خلي حلقك
حبيبي. And we just found them. We found Nuri. Hassan.
I've been waiting for your boys for about 3 hours.
Allah يساعدك. Allah يساعدك. Have you lot? Then you're not going to stay inside?
Waiting for Musawi or
And this is the HOTBIRD Abbaasiyya, Mudif al-Abbas. Beautiful place. Take a quick rest here so everyone comes.
It's 10 p.m. right now. I can barely walk. We just left Atabat al-Abbasiyah, which was at pole 1102, and we're trying to make our way to Imam Hussein now in the middle of the night. We're trying to make our way now, and all the boys are split up. Everyone's just goes around, they don't know where they are, but we're all gonna make it inshallah, safely and soundly.
يلا يلا شباب شباب.
فضل زوار رحم الله الشيخ من النبي حاله غاثي. هلا باحباب فاطمه، هلا بزوار بالاحرار.
It's 2 a.m. and the servants are making fresh up bread for the Zawar who are walking past at this time.
Majorin.
Baba are very lazy. They stop in every 5 minutes. They take 10 minutes break, which is very wrong. We are like 1 hour away. Inshallah, we can make it. It's nearly, inshallah. It's 12:20 now, and hopefully by 1:30 we will be Baina Haramain.
Ya Allah.
Ya Allah, Ya Hussein.
It's 12:30 now.
هذا مشرب خبز مساجز وما اعرف شنو هني كومبلينز.
حسين سويدي خبز يطلب صاف نعوفك بعد ما اشوفك واذا ما تجيني اقدر ظروفك اخاف من عوفك بعد ما اشوفك واذا ما تجيني اقدر ظروفك طويلة رحلتي واخاف برجعتي وبعد ما اشوفك ويا عباسي اختك انا ولا تبارحني وجنيت انت تمسني وتصبحني وفرقتك ذلتي شافك يفارقني وذا انساي الله لا يسامحني وخاف اشتكي لك واعذب دليلك واريد بدموعي ابرد غليلك إلى رحلتي وخاف برجعتي بعد ما أشوفك. Haida. You look like you're gonna cry.
Yeah, very. So tired, but we're very short to the Hadra, alhamdulillah. Walked a lot. And yeah,
nearly there.
Nearly there.
Karbala, as I step onto your sands, you capture my eyes. Karbala, I see heaven has been placed here beneath your skies. Karbala, I feel the darkness of grief within me, your eyes. Karbala, I feel my heart heavy with my wails and cries. Karbala,
alhamdulillah, after 80 kilometers, after 1,456 poles, we made it. But everyone is really tired. It's nearly, the time is now 2:25. Alhamdulillah, we made it.
and all the boys are literally tired. We started 30 of us, and now it's like a little group. Inshallah, we will come back tomorrow, as now it's very busy and very crowded, and we will come back tomorrow nicely. We will have a shower, do the proper complete ziyarah in a group, as we will meet each other. Thank you very much.
We're just on our way back to do our ziyarah. We had a day or two rest from the walk from Najaf to Karbala, and we went inside, we done our ziyarah, but unfortunately they didn't allow the cameras to come in. But inshallah we're going Bayn al-Haramain to join some groups for Matam or Latmiyat, inshallah, Bayn al-Haramain. So inshallah Abu Abdillah will accept it from us. صديقي ما تفهمه كل الناس، أزحف وأكمل طريقي وصل للعباس، أزحف وأكمل طريقي وصل للعباس. هذا العشق ساكن بقلبي وآه يا قلبي، هذا العشق ساكن بقلبي وآه يا قلبي، من الأزل نطيتك واحترقت الأنفاس، من الأزل نطيتك واحترقت الأنفاس. خلاص 40 يا ويلي وش اسوي ما ادري، ليلة الوداع يا ويلي وش اسوي ما ادري. اوقف بالحضرة وانادي حسين حسين عمري، اوقف بالحضرة وانادي حسين حسين عمري. ويلي على المذبوح وويلي على المطروح، وويلي على العطشان وويلي على العريان، وويلي على الظامي وويلي على خيامي، وويلي على ايتامي، وويلي على مخضب، وويلي على مجرب، وويلي على الأطفال، وويلي على زينب. The one memory that always brings a tear to my eye is apart from all the service that we had and all the fun times we had, all the times that we served as brothers, and I felt the brothership between each person through their bones, through their blood. But apart from all that, the most beautiful memory that I have, which backflashes to me all the time and brings the tears to my eye, is the smile, the mixed emotions, that as soon as we got to Karbala, from after the walk, we were exhausted, tired, we wanted to go home, but overall, on top of all of that, it's the smile when you get to Karbala and you look at your friend and he's like, we made it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. When you see the hadra in front of you, you've been walking for so long, you've set yourself a target for you to hit, and that's reaching Karbala by foot. And as soon as you reach it, to be honest, different kind of emotions come to you. You're happy that you're there. You're also sad due to the occasion that you're there for. But it's amazing just to look at your brothers that are with you there, and different people, all different people that you don't know. You can see the emotions. It's floating. It's floating in front of every single person's eye. And that's just something beautiful.
one of the memories, there was a lot of memories, but this one, I'm going to mention it, is when you, Martyrs al-Hussaini, we were nearly like 10 kilometers away from Karbala, and then we lost you. We lost you, and then your dad got really worried about you. And we were in Atab al-Hussainiyya, in Mudif of Atab al-Hussainiyya, and apparently you were in Atab al-Abbasiyya. So I remembered everyone calling, and everyone was worried about you. Where's Murtala? Where's Murtala? Where's the cameraman? That was just not good. Because during Arbaeen you can't make calls easy. So I remember one of the security guys, he had something like walkie-talkie or something. He contacted Atab al-Abbasiyya, and alhamdulillah they found you. You were just like relaxing, eating and talking to people.
Sitting here with Haidar. We've lost most of our group. No phone, nothing. We're around 1066. We're in the Atab al-Hussain, but we can't find our group, so we're planning, if we're lucky, we're going to find them in the Atab al-Abbasiyya, if we're lucky, hopefully.
There's a lot of memories from the walk this year. Every year the walk gives you memories that you never ever forget. And there's a lot of things I can say from memories that keep with me from this trip. I think what's nice about this trip is that we all went as a group collectively. So there was a good, I'd say maybe just under 20 of us walking to Imam Hussein Islam together as a team, and it was something really beautiful because some were younger, some were older, and it was a nice connection that we had together. You know, we'd help each other out. We'd sometimes, for example, joke around, sometimes even remind ourselves of the spirituality and the reasons behind the walk. If someone got tired, then we'd speak to him and kind of encourage him to continue walking. If someone was hurt, we'd find him, you know, for example, a tent that could massage his feet or give medication that would help him with the walk. So it was nice that it was a collective group. At the same time, personal memories I would say is that the first year I walked the whole way, I walked without holding anything. The second year I walked, I decided to hold a small Abu Abbas flag, a very small one. And this past year when I walked, I bought a flag from the actual shrine, which is one that is kept between the new dome, which is visible, and the old dome. So they hang these flags up every day. So I bought it from the shrine, and I found a big piece of wood to tie it onto, and I carried it, alhamdulillah, 90% of the way. And I felt that it was a duty of me to hold the flag of Abbas, to hold the flag of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. I suppose the greatest feeling was presenting that flag to Abbas when we finally saw the shrine after such a long time, after 2 days of walking, and ask him to watch as a small servant has carried this flag. So I think I'm guessing the beautiful thing about this walk is that even though it was a personal journey for everyone had their own wishes, everyone had their own things that they wanted, everyone had their own reasons for walking, everyone had their own kind of emotions, but at the same time you had that level of emotion which was a personal one. For example, me holding my flag and presenting it to Abbas and asking him what I wanted, or asking him to look at the service, the small service. At the same time you had that emotion of everyone to get collectively together. So for example, once we reached the shrine, I remember it was me, Ali Radhawi and Haidar Jizani, and we stood in front of the shrine, and each of us were like silent and crying and speaking to the Imam, and people could tell that we've been walking for such a long time and we were very tired. So we all stood there watching the Imam, and we're just crying and speaking to the Imam. Then we walked down the road to see Hussein's dome, or Hussein Islam's dome, and again we were crying and kind of making our wishes and speaking to the Imam. And then once everyone had kind of said what they needed to say, we all looked at each other and kind of hugged each other, embraced each other for doing such a long walk. Got back, found a way to get back home, and had a lot of had some jokes and had some laughs as well. Not laughs in a way that we were mocking the occasion, but laughs in a way that we were celebrating our brotherhood, kind of thing. So it was definitely a memorable walk for all those different reasons. Walking because in our eyes he is priceless. Walking because anything else
because anything else is worthless. He who serves us food, who does he see? Behind him he sees on his feet pouring the food is Qasim. When they reach Karbala's border, who welcomes them? Abbas cries out, O servants of Hussein, welcome. His brothers by his side, his mother cries in pride, his brothers by his side.
The one thing that I can take back into my everyday life from the ziyarah is brotherhood. Reason being is because no matter where you come from, be it from the Middle East, be it you're born and raised in the UK, I mean, we had people with us from all different ages, from all different backgrounds, not just that, from different maraji', from different areas around the world. We were all together. We were, as the Prophet used to say, a united ummah. It was unity, it was beauty. Also, the reason why I say brotherhood is because I took that back. And since I came back from my ziyarah trip from Arbaeen, I have to honestly say that I don't look down on anyone anymore. Be it he believes in what I believe, be it he has a difference of opinion, because at the end of the day, we are all one. We all go back to the same God, we all go back to the same Prophet, and we all follow the Ahlul Bayt alayhum as-salam.
Many lessons were taking place as we were walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala, as we were around with people with knowledge, people with ambition, people with love, you know, people who their only intention is to unite with their brothers and sisters in Karbala and to share the joy, to share the tears that they finally made it to Karbala. But something that I actually learned, and alhamdulillah wa shukr, it sets something year by year, every year I go, it sets something to my eyes. And that thing is something that we look at nearly every single day, we mourn about every single day, is the patience of Sayyidah Zainab. For a normal person to go through so much grief, through so much massacre, through so much oppression, it's just so hard for a person to take in. Sayyidah Zainab took it in. And she showed to the mankind, she showed to history, she showed to the future the meaning of patience. And something that I did learn through this trip is to be patient. I mean, the one kind of way that I take the walk to Karbala is by setting yourself a target. Obviously, at that time in Arbaeen, our target was to reach Karbala. And Sayyidah Zainab's target was to reach her brothers, you know, her brothers' children's. The objective was to reach Karbala. So by setting yourself, this is something that I can use day to day. This is what everyone can use day to day life. When you set a target for yourself, no matter how far it is, we walked, we went through pain. A lot of brothers went through pain. But at the end, we actually got to Karbala. No matter how long it took, no matter how many blisters came up, no matter how many stops we took, no matter how many breaks we took, we made it to Karbala. And that's something that I learned, is being patient through your journey towards success, towards studies, towards anything. Patience will always be the number one thing that will strive you even further.
I would like to bring up a hadith or a riwayah that was narrated by Kumail ibn Ziyad, the famous narrator of Dua Kumail. He says, one day Imam Ali alayhi salam held my hand and we went outside the city of Kufa. We started walking. Imam Ali took me and I accompanied the Imam until we arrived in the outskirts of the city of Kufa, close to the graveyard. And the Imam sat down. I sat down on the ground. There wasn't anything around us. It was pure desert, close to the graveyard where there were many people buried. And being close to the graveyard itself gives you a specific, a special emotional experience. Imam Ali alayhi salam sat down on the ground. He took a deep breath and he said to me, "O Kumail, إن القلوب أوعية. The existence, the intellect, the heart, the emotion, the physical being of mankind are containers. إن القلوب أوعية. فأفضلها أوعاها. Or a close translation to that would be that, O Kumail, the best of these beings, the best of these existence, the best of these hearts is that the ones that can take in and store and acknowledge the best of its knowledge and the best of its experiences. O Kumail, the Imam continues, O Kumail, الناس ثلاثة. Imam Ali alayhi salam categorizes people into three different categories. O Kumail, the first is alimun. The second is muta'allimun ala sabili najat. And the third is hamajun ru'a yatba'una kulla na'am. To summarize, the Imam is saying, O Kumail, be aware that people are divided into three categories. You are either a scholar, you are either a person of great knowledge, who spent his life gaining and learning of life, or you are on your way in gaining life's knowledge and experience. إما عالم أو متعلم على سبيل النجاة, a person seeking knowledge so he can save himself from the darkness of ignorance, or همج الرعاة, just normal ignorant individuals who are taken every time a gust of wind or thunder comes, they are moved as the plants or as the leaves on the trees are moved when wind hits them. What the Imam is trying to say to Kumail, O Kumail, and this is a lesson for every single one of us, especially the young men and women who have an interest for these kind of religious events, have a desire to experience these kind of emotional trips. Because our main aim, our main objective when we go for such a religious event, for such a walk, specifically dedicated to the events of Ashura and Karbala and Imam Hussein, this great figure who sacrificed his life not only for the sake of those who read the Quran or for those who call themselves Muslims. Imam Hussein alayhi salam sacrificed himself for the whole of the humanity. What he provided was for everyone, not only for those who live in the Middle East, who speak Arabic. No, Imam Hussein alayhi salam stood for freedom. Today we have many organizations calling for the freedom of man, freedom of speech, freedom of expressing your opinion, freedom of choosing whatever religion you want for yourself. Imam Hussein alayhi salam wants us to be either a knowledgeable person who has saved himself, or muta'allim. I am still seeking life's knowledge. I am still seeking to gain the experience. And where better to gain experience and knowledge but from the school of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, which sometimes resembles in walking from Najaf to Karbala to see the millions of emotional people who carry this emotion.
Well, one thing I learned from the walk and I brought back to my everyday life is that on the walk, during the walk from Najaf to Karbala, it was tiring. Obviously, you're walking 90 kilometers. It's not an easy walk, is it? But it's tiring, as I said, and it's like you're walking on glass when you finally get to the province of Karbala. But I'll tell you what, every step you take will get you stronger in your everyday life, and not just your spiritual life in some respects. But
And every time I took a footstep, I remembered that every time you take a footstep on the walk of Arbaeen, that 70 million angels pray for you. And also I thought about, if I can actually overcome 90 kilometers of walking in 2 days, then I'm going to be able to overcome anything I want. Hopefully to pass my exams. That's my main objective. And with the power of Abdillah, anything is possible.
Karbala, we're coming, 40 days and counting. Karbala, we're coming, walking because in our eyes he is priceless. Walking because anything else is worthless. Walking because anything else is worthless. I see a young girl and if like she is holding, she reminds me of Ruqayya. I start crying. I see a woman at the roadside, she's standing, she reminds me of Zainab for Abbas waiting. She stands there on alone and cries, even hearts of stone. She stands there all alone, cries, even hearts of stone. The tears that flow, watching these things are endless.
What would I recommend to people that are doing the walk for the first time? Well, in my experience personally and seeing other people do it, the first time is always the hardest time, because your body is just not used to walking for 90 kilometers from one city to another city over a period of 2 days. It's definitely not as easy as it sounds. The body has to get used to walking that much distance. So I would suggest, I think other people have given practical solutions and advice. On a spiritual level, I would say that no matter what, do not give up. There's always that inclining in your head to kind of get in a car and take a taxi and, feel like you've done enough. Even, when it comes to the extent where you got blisters on your feet and your feet feel, literally, the best way to describe it is, it feels like you're walking on broken feet. So it's not an easy thing at all. But at the same time, I think we have to think to ourselves, this walk, the way I would advise people to see this walk is that it's an oath to the Imam and an oath to yourself, in that you are proving to the Imam how much you believe in him and how much you love him and how much you want to express you want to express how much you really want to follow him. So I'm going to say something very controversial, but some people, for example, might walk halfway, then get in the car and think, I've done a good job. But other people, no, they'll walk it the whole way from where they started there straight away without even thinking twice about getting into a car. And even though it may be seen by some as just a walk, but at the same time, it really does show you how important the Imam is in your own life. So you realize something about yourself in that. For example, Muharram, when you come to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, we go to majalis, we do martyr, latum, we do all these kind of things, and try to gain closeness to the Imam. But that walk is the one thing where you have this kind of, it's like the road itself is telling you, what, all your life you've been doing majalis, all your life you're saying, I love Hussein. Now's your chance to prove it. Let's see how much you really love Hussein, if you can really walk that whole distance without complaining once, for the sake of Hussein alayhi salam. So I would suggest that you have that mentality in your head, that I'm going to prove myself to the Imam, and I'm going to prove my relationship to the Imam, and I'm going to show the Imam how much I believe in him and his message.
Okay, what is the one thing that I recommend people to do before they go towards the walk of Imam Hussein on Arbaeen, towards Karbala? Well, I would recommend to wear comfortable shoes, but at the same time, there was a few people that were wearing comfortable shoes, but they got a few blisters and it was a bit tight, so they ended up taking the shoes off. But then again, there was a few people that went wearing slippers. Same thing happened to them. There's a few people that went barefoot, so without socks, without shoes. In the end, they end up putting bandages on their leg and walking. So to be honest, as for me, I recommend that you wear socks and slippers. That's the best thing. Socks to protect your legs from any dirt, from any stones, from anything, and slippers just to let the air in. I don't know why I'm talking about feet and all of this and walking, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter. But one thing I recommend people to do before they go for the first time is just read, just research a bit about. Okay, we understand we're all Shia, we're all going towards one person. We know who this person is. We know who Imam Hussein alayhi salam is. We know the Ahlul Bayt. But just research about that one person, about what he went through during his lifetime. Okay, we understand. We hear all this in lectures, but sometimes it doesn't stick. So before you go, just research about what he went through in life and all the struggle that he went through, what his family went through, what his daughters went through. Just understand in a way so it can give you an insight of why you're walking towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
The one thing that I will recommend to all the visitors for the ziyarah of Arbaeen during the walk is to forget everything. You know, you need to forget your social life, you need to forget what you left back home. If you're traveling, for example, like us from the United Kingdom, honestly, I forgot that I even worked at Ahlul Bayt TV. I don't mean to put it this way, I forgot that I had cousins, I had friends, I had relatives, because my aim was just to get to Abdillah alayhi salam. So you have to put everything 100%. When I say this, I mean your akhlaq, your decisions, the way you think, the way you talk, the way you act, because you're representing what a visitor of Imam al-Hussein is. And that will be my advice. Having said that, the main advice I would recommend is that you need to help everyone. You need to motivate everyone. You need to motivate yourself. You need to encourage others. You need to encourage yourself. And when I say that, I mean that if you see someone in need, do give him a hand. If you see someone who needs a place to stay, someone who needs rest, someone who needs just motivational talk, do it, because it helps each other. And I'm saying this from experience, because I remember when, if I'm not mistaken, the last time we all met up, I don't remember what poll number it was. I think it was after poll 800, but we got to about poll 1000. And I think I was walking with Sayyid Haidar Jaizani. And I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say we both looked at each other. I don't want to speak on his behalf. I'm speaking on my behalf that I couldn't do this anymore. My legs were aching. And I just had thoughts going through my head that we normally use the term I've cracked, but I don't want to say I've cracked in a way where I just don't want to do it anymore, because at the back of my head I still wanted to go and I knew that was my goal. So I set my target and I looked at Haidar and I told him, look, let's just talk to each other. Let's just say, for example, what did Sayyida Zainab go through, and I promise you that's one of the main things that made me carry on. And I remember we entered the province of Karbala and now we're looking at each other, and I'm saying Haidar Jaizani because I was with him mostly during the walk, because I guess we get along very well. And we got to a point where we actually looked at each other one more time and we said, let's catch a car, we called them Sattute. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in English, but we said let's get a ride to Karbala. But then I remember I was like, Haidar, what's the point? We're almost there. Let's just carry on. And I'm not going to speak on his behalf, but I'm speaking on my behalf. And I remember saying, what did Sayyida Zainab go through? They walked her all the way from Karbala to Sham, and we're walking for a few hours, if not a day and a half, 2 days, and we're complaining. This is Sayyida Zainab we're talking about. So that helped us motivate each other, and alhamdulillah, we reached our goal of getting to the city of Karbala.
Because anything else is worthless. When with the millions on his grave I descend, I'll say I walk all this way to on you peace, and the beauty of this walk only you comprehend. And I will return each year until my life's end. Till I'm old and frail, I'll walk on this trail till I'm old and frail. I'll walk on this trail, yearly in the dress of death for you I'll dress, walking because anything else is worthless, walking because anything else is worthless. 40 days and
part of me. Alhamdulillah, I've been going for 2 years. This is my 3rd year, and I already booked. 6 months ago, I booked my ticket to ensure that I'm going. It's like part of me, I don't know. I haven't been to Hajj. I really want to go to Hajj. And tonight and tomorrow people are going to Hajj. But Arbaeen is part of me. I can't, I don't know. I think it's wajib for everyone, if you can obviously, to leave this dunya, to live this daily life, to leave everything for 1 week, 10 days, and go to Arbaeen. For me it's like Day of Judgment. Everyone is walking in one direction, everyone is wearing black, everyone has one aim, and they all say, yeah, the Beke Hussein.
The reason why everybody loves this journey is because the love that you feel, the beauty that you feel within yourself during this whole period of walking, by the time you get to Karbala and even before setting off, it's just an amazing feeling, a feeling that cannot be explained, no matter how many words can be put out. I mean, Sayyidah Zainab, Salamullah alayha, she planned this route for us. I mean, I believe it's all been done purposely. And she showed us that if you really do love something, if you really do adore something, appreciate somebody, then you will do whatever it takes under any circumstance to get there. I mean, in her case, Abdillah AlHussain was left in Karbala. Abul Abbas was left in Karbala. Ali Al-Akbar, who was no older than a teenager, he was left in Karbala. At-Tifl al-Radi', he was left in Karbala. So many different other shuhada, who are, a lot of them were companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen, 2 of the companions of Imam Hassan, and the companions of Abdillah AlHussain. They were all left in Karbala. And these people, you have to love them. If you don't know who they are, you'll still love them, just by hearing their stories and hearing their miracles. So this is the reason why everyone, I think, I know, this is the reason why everyone walks to Karbala, shedding their tears with so much love, is because people like Abdillah AlHussain, like Sayyidah Zainab, they lost their lives, they sacrificed their children, they sacrificed their families because of the love they are given to us. Alhamdulillah for that.
If I had the chance to do the walk again, would I, and why? To be honest with you, when the time of Arbaeen comes, I don't see how anyone can kind of sit back and say, yeah, you know what, I went last year, or I'm going to go next year. I think I'll just chill out in London and, you know, attend the majalis here kind of thing. Me personally, I think that Arbaeen is the time where no matter what you're doing, you throw it away, you give it up, and you go straight to the Imam, because whatever you give to the Imam, number one, whatever you give to the Imam, he gives back to you, be it the price of the ticket that you paid, be it the hardship that you go through to get there. Whatever you give the Imam, it's like an investment. He gives it back to you and more, and that's without a doubt. On another level, is simply, does the Imam not deserve it? It reminds me of a story about the day of Ashura, where there was a man who didn't want to fight against Imam Hussein, but he didn't want to fight with him. So what he done was, he said, what I'll do is I'll go to the army of Yazid, but I'll stand at the back, right at the back. And it was a very big army, of course. I won't fight any sword, I won't fight any arrows or use my sword or anything. I won't participate in anything that's going on. So he went to the day of Ashura. He was standing right at the back. I don't think he even saw anything that happened, and he went home. He had a dream where he saw the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I believe he was either wailing over Hussein alayhi salam, or he had the dust of Hussein on his head or something like that. And he looked at the man. He said, you killed my son Hussein. The man protested and he said, but, oh Prophet, I didn't shoot an arrow, I didn't use a sword, I didn't even see anything that happened. I didn't do anything. And he said, the fact that you were there in the army of Yazid, the fact that your number, your presence, contributed to the vast number of soldiers in Yazid's army, put fear into the heart of Zainab. And that contribution is, you killed Imam Hussein, basically. So when you think about that story, and you think about people that, time of Ashura, Arbaeen comes and they're like, yeah, I don't really want to go, I've got things to do, I went last year, I'm going to go next year, whatever. You think to yourself, you know what, that one number of yours that can contribute to the how many millions that are walking towards Imam Hussein, just like that person's presence put fear into the heart of Zainab, that number can put joy into the heart of Zainab, that number can put joy into the heart of Hussein. When Hussein sees 13 million, for example, walking towards him, if you walk with him as well, he'll be like, you know what, there's 13 million and one walking towards me, thank you for contributing to that number. So personally, I don't think that anyone should sit at home during Arbaeen. It's not a holiday. It's doing what must be done to keep the flag of Hussein alayhi salam high, to show the world the power of Hussein alayhi salam. And every single person that sits at home without having any excuse not to go is not doing justice to the flag of Hussein alayhi salam. And like I said, that's a controversial thing to say, but I truly believe that. So me personally, would I do the walk again? Yes, I'll do it, and I'll do it every year, because number one, it's what Hussein deserves, and number two, it is something that benefits Hussein alayhi salam, Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and even myself. So yes, I will do it inshallah every year. I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never takes this opportunity away from me to walk to Imam Hussein alayhi salam every year, because it is the greatest honor anyone can have.
Walking because in our eyes he is priceless. Walking because anything else is worthless. Walking because anything else is worthless. When with the millions on his grave I descend, I'll say I walk all this way to on you peace, and the beauty of this walk only you comprehend. And I will return each year until my life's end. Till I'm old and frail, I'll walk on this trail. Till I'm old and frail, I'll walk on this trail. Yearly in the dress of death for you I'll dress. Walking because anything else is worthless. Walking because anything else is worthless. 40 days and counting, Karbala we're coming. 40 days and counting, Karbala we're coming. Walking because in our eyes he is priceless. Walking because anything else is worthless. Walking because anything else is worthless.